Question. What do you do when you don't have enough fabric but you really want to use this fabric to make a pair of shorts to go with the rest of your wardrobe? This is Gwen and welcome to my sewing channel. Today I'm back with another vintage inspired sewing project. For those of you who are subscribers, you would have seen this blouse that I made using a vintage 1950s pattern and the same striped fabric. After making this blouse, I really only had a little bit of fabric left, but I also really wanted to recreate this pair of vintage 50s shorts that I saw on Crash the Party's Instagram page. And so I bit the bullet and decided to be a little bit unconventional in this sewing project. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I hacked a sewing pattern that I have and also thought about the stripe placement and put the pieces of fabric together to actually squeeze a pair of shorts out. Okay, I'm going to show you how I am doing the drafting for the shorts. What I'm doing is I'm taking my Burnside Bibs pattern by Sew House 7 and I'm gonna hack the pants part of the pattern into a pair of shorts. So first I figured out how long I want the shorts to be. So this is basically following the inseam of my second version of the Burnside Bibs. This is about 2.5 inches with 5/8 of an inch for seam allowance. So I marked that bit out and then I took a straight ruler, try to go across and make sure this is as horizontal as possible. And then I marked out the side seam to figure out how long the side seam is going to be. And then I basically just traced out here, and up like this, across, and then down. A quick little pause here as we start talking about raising the waistline. The original Burnside Bibs pattern doesn't have the waistline sitting on the true waist on my body. And also for a lot of people that I've seen on Instagram, I don't think they have their bib sitting on their true waist. So obviously we have to do something about that to make a pair of vintage 50s inspired high-waisted shorts. After making my very first version of the bibs, I had already decided to add 1 inch to the rise of the bibs. So that's that little brown strip of paper that you can see on the original pattern. I have raised the front rise by 1 inch and also the back rise by 1 inch so that, we've got no wedgies when we're sitting in these bibs. That still wasn't enough for it to be a true high-waisted design for me, so I made one more adjustment. What I've done after that is added 1 inch over here to raise the waistline up because the original pattern is not a high-waisted design. I compared it to my own body measurements and I think it's gonna be resting on my true waist. And then I also marked out a dart. So I basically just measured across the waist to see how much it is, 9.5, and then so the center of my dart ended up being 4.75 inches about. So I drew a center line for the dart and then marked out 1/2 inch and then basically just drew a little V. In the vintage shorts, we don't see the stripes going vertical all the way. You will notice that the stripes start going inwards and it becomes like a little V, and then somehow it becomes vertical again when it gets to the dart and when it gets to the side. So I was kind of experimenting with it. Does this have to go outwards or does it have to go inwards? It's one of those. So let's try if it's going inwards, okay? Instead of going straight like this, how about going inwards? When you open it up, that's how you get that V going up. If I just cut inwards and not make any accommodations, then it's going to be too small for my waist, right? It's not going to be the right size. I have taken my straight ruler and kind of drew a straight line down. And this is supposed to be about the same distance. So to make it clearer, this red line is the original side seam of the original pattern. As you can see, it kind of starts to curve a little bit as it goes towards the waistline, and that's not going to give me the stripe placement that I want for this design. So I used the dot line as a guide and drew a line that's parallel to it and perpendicular to the waistline. Basically, you just want it 90 degrees from the waistline. And with that, we've added this much to the sewing pattern, and so we have to take away this much. If you have a look at the original photo again, you will see that it's not like a flat, it's not like a boring straight hem. It kind of curves upwards a little bit. So I'm gonna maybe just take 1 inch. This is really arbitrary. There's no science behind it. I mean, looking at it now, it'd be 2 inches. Yeah, maybe 1.5. Okay, we'll do 1.5, okay? So this is gonna go there. At this point, if you have a French curve ruler, use it, but I don't, so just gonna try to use my eyes and my hand to do this. There we go. The third one is the one that I'm going for, so I'm just gonna trace that one out. And now we're going to start working on the back piece, and I'm using version 1 of the Burnside bibs, which has a more fitted back pant. I modified the back piece pretty much the same way I modified the front piece. I marked out the inseam, I drew a straight horizontal line across the hem using a straight ruler, and then I marked out the corresponding point on the side seam. And if you remember, with the front of the shorts, I actually brought it up by 1.5 inches on the side seam. So that's what I'm doing here as well. This is where it's meant to be. And then I marked a point that's 1.5 inches shorter. So I've already traced the shorts out. All right, so now let's try to match the side seam. Another little pause here as we talk about the side seams. The original pattern doesn't have the side seams of the front and back pieces the same length because there's an extra waistband that's sewn to the front piece. But since I've already corrected the front piece for my high-waisted shorts design, I used the side seam of my modified front piece to draft the side seam of my back piece. Okay, so I've marked out how long the side seam is going to be. And so I'm just going to use a ruler and try to draw a straight line across. And then same as what I did with the front piece, I corrected the side seam and made it perpendicular to the waistline. And then I corrected the back crotch line by taking away the corresponding area that I've added to the side seam. So that's what I'm going to take away, shade it so I know I'm taking it away. So now let's figure out what we're going to do with the hem. So with the front of the shorts, I've got it coming up. I don't know, I might want to give a little, instead of having it straight on, I might want to give it a little curve. Alright, that seems to have worked out. Okay, that's what I'll go for then. Kind of apprehensive about cutting it, but I think that's what we're gonna do. You know what's the last thing that I need to do? I need to check and make sure that the waist is gonna fit me. Okay, let's do that. And then when I was finally ready, I cut the pattern piece out. Whew, wow, that really took a while. After finalizing the paper pattern, the next hurdle that I had to work through was figuring out if I had enough fabric to cut out the pattern pieces. I decided to prioritize the front pieces, so I had enough fabric to cut out 2 whole intact front pieces. For the left back piece, I had to cut an extra little strip from another part of the fabric just to patch it up and get a whole intact piece. To make up the right back piece, I cut out little rectangles from the rest of the little remnant pieces that I had, pieced them together while matching the stripes, and then made an area that's slightly bigger than what I would need for the pattern. And then I stitched them all up together and ironed it to make sure it's nice and flat before cutting the exact shape out. So, what do you think about my stripe matching skills? I'm pretty proud of how I've kind of patched everything up to make a complete back piece. You can probably see it in person when you're standing real close, but I'm okay with that. I think this is pretty good for what I was working with. Instead of making the same skinny side straps as the original vintage shorts, I wanted my version to be reminiscent of the vintage 1950s style blouse that I made using the same fabric. So I used the pattern piece for the sleeve band for the blouse to cut out the pieces for making the side straps for my version of the shorts. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys all the pieces that I've got cut out. And the next thing to do is to start sewing, which to me is usually the fun part. So that's the back piece for the shorts, and then that's the button tab. It's gonna be inserted on the back. I'm gonna sew it here next to the dart, and it's gonna go around and go to the front. And on the front, I will sew on a button, and then we have the little cinched look on the sides. The white pieces are the facings, and I just don't have enough of this striped fabric for the facing of the button tab, so I decided to use the same white fabric. It's a cotton twill, so it's heavier than this fabric, and I'm not sure if I even need to add interfacing. I might not do that, we'll see. And yeah, front of the shorts. And you know how I've got the curve on the hem? So I was thinking that I would probably use a bias tape binding to finish off the hem. And now for the fun part. Let's start sewing. When it comes to sewing high-waisted bottoms, I like my opening to be about 9 inches long. This zipper that I'm using for my project is actually only 7 inches long because it's a rescued zipper. I really didn't have any other choice because I also really didn't want to buy anything new. So to make sure that my 9-inch opening for this pair of shorts actually has a complete closure, I simply added an extra little button tab above the zipper head. When it comes to sewing little closures like this, I like to use hand sewing because I feel that this is the only way for me to make sure that the stitches are neat and tidy, and also it's the best way for me to make sure that I can hide the stitches within the waist facing itself. I also forgot to mention, but I didn't actually end up using interfacing for the waist facing. The bias tape that I'm using to finish the hem is different from the bias tape that I used to finish the raw edges of the waist facing. I think it's supposed to be some kind of a blanket bias tape. It's so wide, I had to cut it half lengthwise before sewing it to my shorts. I am so excited to show you how the final shorts look. Are you ready? Let's have a look. So I think I'm really proud of this sewing project. This is probably the sewing project that I'm most proud of so far for the year 2020. I like how I actually went off with the inspiration from the photo of the vintage shorts and then put a little bit of my own spin on it and have the design kind of tying in with the blouse that I made with the same fabric using the vintage 1950s pattern. I really put a lot of thought into the pattern hacking. I put a lot of thought into the stripe placement, and I think that really paid off. I think if I were to make the shorts again, I would probably fix that back rise. I think there's a little bit of excess over there, which I guess I could probably fix quite easily by changing the position of the front buttons. But other than that, I think I'm really happy with how everything's turned out. So let me know what you think about this shorts in the comments. If you like what I do here, I do mostly vintage style sewing, so don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. See you again in about 2 weeks time, hopefully.